Hello, 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 and welcome back. This is Joy the Jewel Design, and here's our Saturday edition weekend craft, whatever. No tutorial, no real new projects. It's more of a finish it up project. I was going to do a finish it up Saturday. I was going to finish it up Friday. But I don't think I'm doing multiple journals. I think we're just going to try to finish up our last, the last autumn one that we've been working on. And, this is our envelope journal one. And got stuck. Gosh darn it. Oh, no. Oh, there we go. Anyway, it is drying a little bit, but I want to get the inner journal actually done. This is a gorgeous, it is gorgeous, but it's a very fun multi-envelope pocketed journal cover, right? You could leave it as is. You could do all kinds of number of things with it. And right now, I've got some puffy paint stickle stuff on it that is not drying. Got a little thick like puff paint for getting that. It may take a while to dry, so that might be temperamental. We may have to do a little press down, but let's try and disguise some stuff. So the cover is done, which I'm very stoked about. A lovely thing to sort of wrap around this thing. The insides are all done. I've got stuff in the cover, in the pockets. Added some new stuff to the shaker. There we go. So you can sort of see. I got some actual pieces that seem a little bit more shakeable in there. So the whole point was this rate is trying to get the last bit done, and that is the inner journal. I put a nice bright orange cover. We'll put a topper on it today, hopefully. It'll be sort of an inner topper, flat topper piece. So it has coffee dye pages in it. It has a silly, not silly, but looks like a article document, probably from my grandfather's stash. We have a vellum piece of one of the papers from the journal kit, more eco-dyed, and that fun, what I call farm to table feel that we did as a, different insert. Usually the middle of the journal is really pretty on the inside, so you can just flip through it. Maybe you can write on the back sides, but this case I decorated. You can write in the middle. It's decorated, maybe something you can tuck in, and then you keep writing. So it's a nice little 32, but the last piece I want to add to this before we try to sew it in and hope that front is dry. I have it I have it literally under the fan trying to dry that last little swiggle, is a doily, paper doily. So we do sell them. We do sell them in 4 sizes. So here is the white. I went ahead and tea-dyed it with my little spritz type concept, so we get some marbling to it, front and back. Did a pretty good job marbling on the back. And I want to add one more layer to this to sort of fit the theme, which I had started doing on some of the pieces of ephemera. Was that, like I said, this does come. We have it in 4 sizes that we do as a set. If you like different size doilies to make pockets and inserts and stuff into, I started taking my maple leaf stamp that I got from one of my Happy Planner ladies. Came in a fall kit. I started stamping in all 3 colors, the vintage, the orange, and my sage green, since those are all very prominent colors in this journal. You get carved pumpkin, sage green, and the vintage photo. I started stamping elements with this darling leaf. It's my only fall leaf that I really have. So I thought it'd be fun on this one for some dimension, besides doing the tea-dyed stuff, or using the old teas or coffee or whatever I have in a pour bottle, was that we would stamp brown, orange, and green over all of this on one side. Be sort of just tea-dyed on one. It would be colored on the other up against the eco-dyed pages, and that way, the owner of this can do as she sees fits if she wants to add anything else. So we're going to start with the green, sort of the lightest color. And I'm going to have to do a little bit of stamping in between, trying to get too much color on the next thing. I was like, oh no, let's see if this works. And I love the oxide because they do have more color to them. So it does give us more to work with. Now, whether or not it's going to hold enough. Trying not to get in the middle too much. But I thought we'd do a little play with some distressed. And on the eco dye, or on the coffee dyed. There we go. We would just have some fun. Instead of always doing a stencil or, we do some stamp work. Try to even it out, haha. And just have some fun with it, right? So that's the beginning. Hopefully it won't take too long. I can always, if it's getting a little crazy here, I can always pause it, finish it, and come back. But I wanted to, with you guys, oh good, with you guys, play with the stamps. Oh, right, why not? I love Tim's, you know, oxides and inks, because I have taken white lace and I've colored it in with, taken the brushes, and I've, you know, colored in things to give it the green and pink feel. I've, you know, inked a number of collage of crochets to make them darker with the vintage and a photo. I have just had a lot of fun with these colors. I don't just distress edges with them, that is for sure. I always go, can I color that white something another way, right? Okay, so let's go to the orange now, which with the oxides, they're definitely wetter. They saturate a little bit more, so if I really want something that, knowing that it's going to definitely pick up color, I'm going to do a little lighter at first. I don't want to go too, yeah, there it is, okay. Sort of figured. And you can probably, if you do it right, get a couple out of it before you even have to redo it, especially the orange. It's definitely darker. So I can be like, I'm sitting here and I can get my fingernails in it, why not? I mean, I can barely tap it, or I can really press on it, just depending on how much I want to get, you know, on the paper. But I figured it'd be sort of fun to create our own little doily here. I know sometimes, you know, I'll do snowflakes in the fall, in the winter, to do a doily thing. Instead of doing a paper doily, I will do a snowflake. Has the same effect, same feel, right? You're having the same fun with it. There you go. Let's see if we now can add in. Except the orange, I know I get a lot everywhere. I walked the other way the other day and I was like, oh, that's orange on my fingers. I went to go lick something and I was like, oh, I have ink on my hands and I didn't even know it. Oh, man. Got to find a wet wipe. Hate when I do that. Okay, now, it's not too bad going from orange to brown, but I am going to wipe it off so I don't get too much residue of orange on my ink. So I'm going from, that would be from oxide to distressed ink, and that, you know, they're different. I mean, I've done both. I've oxide something and then used the distressed ink, and it definitely grabs better. Sometimes I get a better grab. My vintage photo definitely comes up better after having, you know, going across a oxide page. Now that one is getting some of the middle, and it gives you a different feel where you look, it feels like you have sort of the lines of your what's the word, leaf, by letting that sort of come and play where it happens to hit. So that's not bad. Sometimes I'm only doing parts of the stamp because I'm only doing the bottom, like the outer edges, so I'm not getting too much over here. I don't need too much brown because we do have the coffee dye. I think it's coffee. I actually want to say it's coffee in that container. I want to say my spritz bottle is a coffee. It's coffee. I think it's the instant coffee that I made and put in a bottle and went, okay, go for it, right? And so I just put whatever I'm working on a towel, and I just spritz it, and I let it sort of soak in, and then I dab at it, and then I spritz some more and let it dry, and I just go back and forth until I'm sort of done with this, you know, whatever feel, depending how much I need. Now, I did do the my grandfather's papers, like legal papers, wherever those were. I did spritz out a little bit to get a little more aged. Like I said, and I tried to do a graph paper to see if it would go more brown or a little bit more green, and it didn't. All right, I think that's not bad. I'm hoping you guys can see this all, but I think, let me now fold it and see what we see. If there's anything we need to touch up, like needs more green on one side, or definitely more orange on that side, but you can see the greens more on this side, which is funny. So I could turn it upside down and go that way, but I feel like we actually started having things upright, didn't we? So what do we need? I think we feel like we need more green. Just a little bit over on this side, right? Why not? Maybe I can throw some pink in there. Let's not throw pink in there. No. I know now I'm starting to mix. I'm sorry. Ugh. And we sort of do it as a somewhat, there we go, no more. Otherwise, not that you're going to see it through anymore, because now once it's folded and inserted, we're not going to know, you know, one side from the other. All right, so Eco dyed. That one's actually a coffee dyed. That's Eco dyed. It's an avocado paper. All right, and then we have this, which I think I did the same treatment just to sort of darken it up. Now, I did not distress any of the edges except whatever was naturally distressed here. It's funny how it actually picked up some of the blue from, I think it was next to the other piece. How funny. I'm going to do a little inking. I can't help this. I'm like, we need a little more. You would think to be more aged. I think we just took good care of them. And, you know, my grandfather always had them nicely put away. And my mom gave me some, a couple years ago, actually. Almost, shoot, close to 3 years ago. She gave me some of these when we were working on the pink Parisian and, or pink shabby. I think it was a pink shabby and a vintage Greetings skinny journal, skinny flip-flop journal. And when we were doing that after hubby passed, her and me were doing some, you know, side-by-side together videos. She gave me a number of papers she had found. Like, hey, I have this and that. Do you want to use them? So I was like, they were in my stash. I went to go looking through my proper ordeals. There you go. See, I can see here it's a lot darker. It got more coffee dye on it on that side. So it just really depends, which is okay. I love it. As you can see, I have a little paper clip here. I took one of my longer flags, folded it so I could glue down a paper clip. It's not like quite hidden, but it does have, oops, that reminds me. I wanted to stamp this. I found a cute little stamp from, let's see, from Celeste. She gave me one of those post-it, post-stamp die cut pieces, or, you know, in the tea dye, coffeeed, whatever. And so I wanted to get something on it so that we could sort of utilize it. So you can see that it is a usable so you can stick something up there. So you can put a journal card up this way and have it stay in place on the page, but however you want to use it. So just put it on that page for decor. See, there you go. You could leave it up a little farther and tack something on here. Or you can bring it all the way down and it sits there and you can put any journal card you probably want. And nothing too big, but decent enough could go up in there and you'd have it and it would hold it in place on that page. All right, so then we have the, like I said, we have the vellum, which is a cute page I didn't get to use or even cut up when we were doing all the envelopes. So I thought, oh, I didn't really use that. So I figured let's put it on vellum. That'd be a fun little semi-middle decor, right? I wonder if it should go on the outside though. I'm wondering. Since it's so close to that middle section, I think we're going to flip that around. I think we're going to put this here, which nice and dark, not a problem. Let's do that. Let's go maybe dark here. And let's put this one here. It's still the same pinky color. I like it on it. So we have plain, we have pretty decorative. We got something sort of simple and usable. Then we have our fun paper doily. And then we have our middle section. So let's do that. And I believe all said and done, we end up with 32 pages. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So yes, 32 pages of, you know, a little mini monthly journal with this cute little orange cover, bright orange cover, that we will do a quick, I have scraps left over, still scraps. I went through my things, I was like, okay, what's still usable? What is still even possible at this point to be used in any fashion? And there wasn't much. I was like, oh my goodness, was a good girl. I actually threw some stuff away. It's like tiny little scraps. I'm like, nope, don't need the tiny little scraps. I'm done, I'm good. I don't know, you know, this project's all but done. I don't have any major pieces left over. Anything that I thought might slightly go with the next skinny journal that we'll be doing in a fall theme in a few weeks. I'll try to give it a break and get close to September when we actually feel like fall's coming around the corner. I will get back to, you know, I might still need that one. Let's see. We'll see. That's not gonna work. Yeah, I'm like, that's a little wet. we are going to, yeah, I won't do fall until September again, which really is only 2-3 weeks away. Before we know it, we will be there, and I'll be like, and I'm back, you know? What can you do? Hold on. Sorry, guys. My hands are not, oh, they're yellow. That's the thing. I didn't realize how bad the orange stains. It really does. It's amazing. Oh, goodness gracious, guys. I look like I was playing with pumpkins. I was doing pumpkin puree with my own fingers. Jeez. All right, well, just enough so I don't have any residue. I'm just making sure I don't have a whole lot of residue left over on my fingers as I'm working on stuff. Because the last thing we want to do is end up with orange something somewhere that we didn't want, which is never fun. Okay. Now, so here will be the fun part, and I don't know if we're going to be able to do this because I did not. I sort of want to sew it in before we put anything on there to make sure that this was not going to be a problem. I hate to do this, but okay. I just wanted to make sure if there was any, flattened out my thing so that I knew that there wasn't any major clumps, because I got to be able to move this around, and I cannot do that if it is going to smear. I do not want it to smear. There we go. And hopefully that's enough. Okay, good. So yeah, I did a little S and some dots and stuff in here because I could see some stuff in my sewing gluing capabilities I didn't like. So everything has, you know, journal cards in it now, or little folded pockets. See, there we go. I was doing some more, right? A lot of things got collaged and clustered and faux, you know, if I found a piece, came across something. But all these pockets are pretty tight, so it's morely just color for the most part, and, you know, something to write on the back. Because these are sort of tight pockets. I was pretty shocked when I came down to it that I was like, oh, there's not a whole lot of give. So this pocket, remember, this is our envelope, our bag pocket. So it has a double in it, which I didn't want to completely cover it up. I decided I'll give you 3 spots to work with. And that's right side up, upside down. I know I want to do it this way, but then it's upside down, but I don't know, it really matters. It's a double card here. So we can close it up. And then it has the other half, a single here, right? Ready to go. So everything has a potential, you know, writing space. It's lovely. So you can keep going there. All right. So let's get to the inside and see. There are more in here. I put something in here. I have things in this pocket, things in this pocket. This will be a little tight, a little bit bummed about that. So there are large pieces in here to write in. It's just that this might make it a little tight. Gosh, I have glitter everywhere. Okay. So the goal is now to try to sew this in as smoothly as we can. And I have to decide if I'm using brown, orange, green. We're sort of green on the outside here, so I'm almost tempted to do green on the outside. I'm almost tempted to do green. Wouldn't that be funny? Which it would sort of work because, you know, we've got green in here too. So fun part is just getting it in the right spot and keeping it together. Usually I clasp it to the cover while I do this, except that I don't know if I can get both, because this has to come down in the middle. No, see, I can barely grasp both at the same spot. So we're really going to be relying on the potential of, these are any deeper. Maybe not. I don't want to go too high up, but I sort of want to keep it in place, right? You always want to make sure that you have this as tight as you can, but I think I can go tight within the cover, but I cannot go tight on the ordeal, and that's going to be a problem. Oof. Usually I can like keep this together, because if you don't keep them lined up, you're going to go work on something, and my phone goes off. You're going to go do this, you know, and all of your pages will move. If you don't keep them together when you go to, even when you're doing, what am I looking for that'll work? When you are trying to tighten this up and sew it together, if they, you know, your pages sort of shift on you, while you're going, you're going to have a really hard time sewing it, because it's just not going to want to line up. And that's my worry right now, is that we're not going to be able to line them up. Didn't think about this when I was doing it. My only other thought, I could do it elastic. I'm thinking here. What I might do is, I think we're going to do is we're going to sew this together, but I think we're going to put an elastic band here so it can be sort of treated like a traveler's notebook, and she can slide it in and out to maybe keep things out of the way. I think that's what's going to happen, because it'll stay put, but I don't think I can sew it in, and I just don't think so. I'm really worried that once I put the holes in there, I'm not going to be able to keep it in place. God, I really like to keep it all as one. And it also, I'm noticing if I can't get it tight enough, might not close even with this guy. I may have to make it shorter, and that's a little hard to do once you cut it in. So I'm wondering a couple different things here. I'm wondering a few things, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're going to take a little bit more off the edge here, because it doesn't look very straight, and it doesn't look like it's going to fit. I have a feeling this bottom corner keeps getting caught, and I think it's because it's a little wide down there. So if I shove it in here, line it up across the bottom tight as I can, or maybe across the top. Maybe we'll go across the top. I don't know. Either way, half does the other, but we are going to shorten it up, because I believe it's just too wide. I was trying not to make this the whole thing. I wanted to make the topper to it, but I do not want to be doing the topper to this thing and then finding out that it doesn't fit and all that jazz. It's sort of a silly thing just for a cover for an ephemera holder without something in it. I feel like it needs to have something, right? Okay, so that's a little tighter. That's a little better. I'm not feeling so worrisome about that. Let's get some ink on it. It's going to be a lot easier to ink here than it is anywhere else. How are we? Hopefully you got to watch my interesting magazine series. My 2 ordeals there, because we did the Tuesday, I believe it was Tuesday, we did the insert, right, to this set. And then Thursday was the, which I already put them aside. Oh, I should have pulled them back out. Oh well. The journal cards, the fancy fashion plate type journal cards. That are both in like the gold and cream and with the diamonds and the pearl stuff. And then we have the black and whites, which one is very black and white and diamond, and the other one has a bunch of blue accents. So I thought that was a lot of fun. I didn't get very far. I think we got through the gold. I didn't get through the black and white, but there are shorts, YouTube shorts and Instagram reels that show a quick construction of the black and whites. So I think Friday one came up, and I think Monday or Tuesday is the other one. So there are productions, there are things. So those were fun. I mean, it's just something different to play with, and oh, I don't know. So that was the question. I did not know whether or not. My only other question is if we have. I know I have some elastic string to do sort of a traveler's notebook type ordeal, but I don't have it in the right colors. These are too blue. There's not even a green, an orange, a red, anything for me to do this, and these are all the wrong colors. So anything else? I mean, there's leather and stuff that I could tie. It couldn't be very tight, so it means it would be sort of loose. I mean, it's just something that would sit there slightly tied. It's gonna give over time. It's gonna stretch out. So that doesn't work. Oh, I thought I had that. Cording. I'll have to see if she wants it. And my daughter is doing bracelets with her boyfriend, and I was like, oh, what if they want to do leather strap? Then they have to tie it and hope it stayed too. Same problem, right? Okay, my phone keeps going off. I don't know. Not sure. Okay. I'll be back to it in a moment. Okay, so you know what? I will have to, let's see. I think we're just gonna suck it up, guys, and try to sew it in. I'm just gonna do the best I can with it, really work it, and you know, make it fly. Hold on one sec. Let's make sure I hit her up so that she knows. Okay. Reply so that she knows I'm filming, and so there we go. That way she doesn't call me by accident and knock me off the thing. That would be so bad. Be like, no, I finally got this going, right? So, okay. Maybe just do it on the back side. I don't know. Usually I just hold it there so I can do the circles. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that into... Let's see. Oh, I can knock himself over constantly, which is really annoying. Sorry, I turned my head away. Now, downside about popping it in here is that you definitely want to redo it later that way when you are doing it. Let's see, it goes there. That goes there. I'm trying to eyeball. You guys can see across down the bottom, right? Trying to make sure that the spacing between, you know, here and here is about the same on both sides, the best you can. And then I'm trying not to get my head and everything else in there. Let's see if I can find middle-ish. I love that ish. But this is the problem, is that there's no way for me to keep it. Now I got to see if I can keep it together, right? Which it's not going to really stay. I can tell you right now, I can already tell that I don't think it's going to stay. Which is going to be a problem. Because every time you push in on one side or the other, it sort of gives. So we're thinking green. Depending on what my greens are. I do have colors, but I might want to go just, I think I'm just going to go cream, actually. Something that's going to blend in with the edge. Because at the moment, I do not have lace or anything around the spine. And not a problem, but, oh, let's see. So we can go old school. We can go taupier, but I think the outside is so light. Right, my outside, everything is so light. I'm thinking more maybe this. Matches the inside. Yeah, matches inside and out. So let's try that. I love that I have all these great colors. Oh, so happy. All right, so the usual rule of thumb is 3 times, especially if you want to leave something dangling. I'm not as in need of dangle this time, so I'm just going 2.5 so that I can make a bow and, you know, in the middle if I want. Now, I am going to put this in the middle. I am not leaving anything on the outside. You can tie a bow on the outside, you can tie a bow on the inside. You just want to start on the same spot you want to end. So if you want to end with a bow on the inside, then that's where you start. If you want to end with a bow on the outside, then you start on the you go on the outside and work your way in. Okay. I'm just holding it best I can, hoping. You want to leave yourself a tail on the inside so you have something to, you do have something to tie. You have to then figure out how to open it just right, at just the right angle. Woohoo, it worked. It's working, it's working. Now I can sort of open it to get it through. Where's my problem though, is getting it through. Okay, close it back up, close it back up. Trying to keep things at about the same width and stance as where I poked it through. So that way we are not moving things around too much. I am like, oh, for a minute there I was like, please tell me you're recording. Oh, wouldn't that have been bad? I'd be like, never mind, I give up. There are days. And you're just like, why? We already had one fuzzy video this week. Let's not do anything else, right? All right, I'm holding it. I'm... Come on. Come on. Sometimes I feel like I have to repoke it to get things back in place. Isn't that sad? And you're trying to do this, and you're, of course, got it all in place and going. And so what I try to do is sometimes hold it at about the same width and angle as when I poked it in the cradle. Because, yeah, I mean, it's great, but I missed. Problem is getting it back there where you can get through all your level. Yeah, I'm missing it completely. Oh my goodness. Sometimes I will find the hole. I will pop it through. And I will literally thread one behind the other. Like I will literally put one in and pull one out and hopefully follow it back out. I did. Ta-da! Okay. Yeah, if you don't do it as a flat entity, yeah, the cradle is good, but sometimes I struggle. The struggle's real. Struggle bus. Okay. Oh, we're getting there. not want to spend all my time doing that, but you know. Oh, why not? Okay, so nice and creamy. I might slightly put a little ink on that because it is brighter than it looks. Brighter than it looked. All right, so you came up. It's tight. Nothing is in its way. You go back through here underneath. Just helps you tie this better so that you can keep it nice and tight. Now, before I go too crazy, I want to see how we're doing on the outside. Is it not bad? We can go a little tighter. You want to go tight, but you don't want to rip holes if you can help it. So you want to, one sec. All right, so I want to make sure that I am pulling both, pretty much pulling both. I'm making sure this is tight for this end, and I'm pulling this one to make sure it's tight on that end. And then crossing it, a little bit of a tug. I am then, you know, knotting that a little bit, and then a tiny little bow. Now, depending on your look, you can keep it, you can knot it one more time and leave it as just a nice little string. You can do a side bow, all up to you. But now we are locked in as tight as I can. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. And the goal was to close. Works a little bit better. It's still a little floofy. So it, you know, it is popping up a little bit, which I'm really shocked. Really not much in it, but it is popping up a little bit. That's why we gave this a little bit of a gusset to try to help deal with that. Cross over the top of that, which this is struggling over, which is funny. Who would have expected that? I think if it was flatter, but we have all this lovely stuff in it, so it comes over poofy. That's poofy. There you go. But it sits nicely. I don't feel like it's poof. It's just a little bit of a crocodile feel without, you know, it's not all pages, but it is fun. There we go. Okay, now let's get that as flat as we can. Inner journal cover. We're going to put a topper on the orange to break that up just a little bit. I mean, you know, we don't have to have it that bright. Oh, we can do a little something. It helps finish off the last of the scraps. It's definitely had a, you know, pages that were digitally collaged. We have done physical collaging in every way possible, using things that we had, layering them up, just having a lot of fun with it. So, all right, let's open. Ta-da! Yeah, I don't know, putting the journal on the outside would have then left these two, but what was the fun of that? I sort of like that is a journal cover in a way, but we're going to do one more. Why not? So what I thought we would do is I have all these leftover pieces. I won't do it on it, but I figured we could, if this is about the right size. It's a good size. If we have enough scraps, we'll make adjustments, but this will be our base, sort of to glue everything onto, and then that way I can glue this onto here. So if we can make a nice large collaged topper, it'll take up a good chunk of this, give us one more set of personality. I have papers and squares and circles and doilies and gold mesh left over, which I found more in my stash, so I'm stoked that I can bring back this orange swirly stuff. I'm really happy about that. What is else? Okay, yeah, hinges, all kinds of fun stuff. Okay, so let's do this. Let's get this used to its new home. Let's get that closed. Ugh. I'm gonna have to find I don't know. I have one thing I might cover that up with, but okay, so we have things like this to help decorate once we are in the mood. Where are we at? I want to make sure we have 33, only 33 minutes in. Yay, okay. So sew something in, finish something up. So we have circles and this and doily for sort of an outer layer, right? And then we have all these pieces for an inner layer. We've got squares here, little bit of a flower ordeal there. We have all these pieces left over. Oh, who's coming out now? Oh, Kiki. Okay. The little one. I even have some hinges if we wanted to do a little bit of a faux cover maybe on it, make it look like it was part of the hinge of the cover, but though it really won't open. So I don't think we need anything else to open on this poor journal. I think we're done there. But if we wanted to do even a single hinge just to give it a feel, a fun little element, if there's room on the cover, we will do so. How's that? I found those last two. So now it's just deciding what to do with all of it, right? Let's see. Let's get the white that we don't need off of everything. Now this one I might, for more dimension and a little bit more of that quilted feel, is we might actually distress everything, you know, ink everything around every edge, and then lay it down so that each one sort of has its own little oomph. And maybe will help, you know, give us a little bit more dimension, since we can't put a lot of layers on it because I feel there's just no more room. We want something. We need it to do something. So we're just gonna, you know, I don't know, square some stuff off, see what we have going. Let's see, let's do that. We can do that a little bit. And some of these have some ripped edges, so it's fun to already use that. So we have all these here. I did try to, you know, I tried to fussy cut out some. Where'd she go? Oh, she has one or two spots. As you can see, I started fussing cut out some leaves. Hold on, baby girl. Yeah, she wants to. Over here, come on. Oh, don't step on the journal. Oh, yeah, you're not gonna like that, are you? She wants her box. There we go. I turned off the fan. You're good. She's like, Mom, there's something in my way. There's stuff in my way, and now there's air, Mom. Gosh forbid. Though it's warm out here, so I don't know. Okay, so I feel like there's a potential square here. I feel like we could use. I feel like we have all these squares that I want to sort of work with, and then go from there. Like we have that, and we have this, and we're gonna go all the way up, even though, you know, there's things in the way. We're gonna sort of use it as a base. I want to get all of that, but I wanted to use. We can go a little bit beyond. No one says we have to stop. Right there, right? So let's do this one over here underneath, maybe. I'm gonna do this. I probably will cut that off. I may not. We may leave it. Who knows? Of course, I'm gonna put this all exactly where I want it, and then be like, ugh, right? I feel like we could use this. It's a little light. It is a little lighter in the material, so it's not as heavy, but it's all getting glued down. So this is gonna be a perfectly glued down thing. So I don't feel like we have to. We might do that. So things sort of overlap. We, you know, so we have color. We got some more brown out here. We got green here. We got the orange here. A little bit down here. I did, right? A little off the edge is fine. We'll just try to square up as much as we can. So there's the base, right? And then it's taking elements like, you know, a little bit of that overlapping, and we want to put, you know, maybe the orange over here, and, you know, opposites. So orange is here, green's there, you know, whatever to coincide collage. And we want to be careful though, because there's not, well, this isn't going into anything. We're not sliding it into anything, but we want it to sort of layer. And then we have more of these where we can do one inside the other and put it there or down here. So we will continue to do that kind of thing. So, okay, I think we've got the basics. I think. All right, so I need more colors than I realized. I do like the orange off to sort of shadow this ordeal. There we go. Even the bottom of this a little bit. I know it says brown, but I'm going to just do a hint of the orange, and then we can go over it again with the vintage. She knocked everything down. Of course she did. As I said, I know we're supposed to mix them that well, but I do. And even though we don't know if we're seeing that corner or not, I'm going to ink every edge, unless I know for sure it's going off the page. That's going on there. I want to do the green for this one. We're going to match bits. We're going to match a little bit. But yes, this will be my last fall thing for just a little bit. Well, I don't know what I'm going to do next. Still have spring and stuff to do for the altered book. And then, well, it seems springy, right? It feels a very spring concept. It's a lot of botanicals and stuff, so we got that to work on and finish. I do have some packaging things. Do some ephemera. Maybe I have to see what some leftover collage pages I might have, or leftover prints, where we can just do some, you know, not really mass make, because I'm not doing multitudes of them, but there's packaging, there's papers. Like I accidentally folded an envelope, and I think it would make a cute double when you open it up. It's almost like a wallet, a ephemera wallet, envelope wallet. And so I wouldn't mind trying something with that. So maybe that can be a smaller but simple project. Maybe we'll do that Tuesday. I have the envelope. My daughter folded the envelope in thirds by accident, but she did it just right though. She gave it a little top flap, and it just worked out. And I was like, "That's really cute." I'm like, I love when I find things that they're not paying attention. They're just doing. I almost want to go this way with it, but I want it to overlap there. I like the fact that this is ripped, and we get some texture when we do it, but then I don't have anything really overlapping here. I feel like this is all the way across the top, and I would love for something to go more up here. So I have to decide if I do that, I'd have to maybe slit it here so that one goes under and one goes over, which could be done. We could do that if I think really hard. I've been really careful with it. So this goes down, this goes down. Then we can put this over the top. This covers there, and we can carefully then find a spot. So where do I need to slit that? I'm like, wait a minute, before I get going, let's do it about here. Because I want it under but over. See, I want to do that. Under but over. Oh, under one spot, over on another. I want it under the ripped section, but I want it over some of that to break it up. Okay, so that works. So right before I forget to do anything, you know me. Well, you may not know me, but there's times where I start laying things out exactly where I want them. And so I will start gluing edges together, sort of pre-clustering things and pre-collaging them, so that I don't really lose all of my ideas, placements, because sometimes it's easier said than done, right? So I think I have enough. Let's do a little extra darkness here. I know I did some orange, but I think we need a little dark. There we go. Now I think we're even going to go as far as and here. We're pretty much using the size of this piece of paper as our guide, right? So let's start worrying about what glues together. What could glue together, I should say. Not as much as we thought. Make sure we wipe that away. All right. Let's do some of this. Maybe not all of it, because we do know that it gets cut off at some point. You know, and we can always go back in and find. So we know that, and that's totally not straight. We're going to cut parts of it off here. It's not going to go. And it did go sideways on me. So I have to decide at what point, which one's going to go straight. Is this going to go straight up and down, or is this going to go more, you know? But if I do that, then I make sure everything's off the page and re-ink. That's the only downside. Get a little, you start laying things out, and if you didn't cut straight, of course your things aren't straight, so why not? Let's get this going. I'm hoping this will be cute as a topper, right? I'm hoping that it's gonna have a nice, come on, feel to finish off the journal here. Our last little bit, right? So then this has to go down because, whoop! Well, that would have been bad. Oh, so bad. Okay, so we're gonna start gluing what I see. I'm having a hard time with the glue. Sense of where to put it. I'm having to wipe away a lot of glue. That's okay. I'm a little tired. It's been a long day. And I'm not even done. I'm working really hard today because this afternoon and evening are pretty busy for me. So that when it came to the weekend, when you guys are watching this, I could get other things done. We've got this flowers for all the cemetery placements that I usually help my mom with. So I've got to pick those up and get the box, you know, swap the fall box, the spring boxes for the fall boxes and the Christmas boxes, so that I can work on those next couple months. And so we got to get all of them. Even my husband's needs new ones. Everything I buy is not holding up the way I was hoping. I mean, it's been we're about to come up on 3 years, so I guess I can't complain too much. I haven't had to do too much in 3 years. So, you know, found some new ones. So I'm like, okay, time to update his, or our tombstone, his tombstone. Every time I go out there, though, he's got more and more buddies. And it's sort of sad. It's mostly guys. It's mostly guys that are filling in around him. I'm like, oh. Some around his age, or about the same age when he passed, kind of deal. We did have one lady right next to him, though, who finally, her husband passed a few years before her. So once she passed, then the family went and put the whole tombstone together, and I didn't even know they were here. You know, they were there. I didn't know there was someone beside them, and I didn't think there was any room. I didn't think there was any more room between them. I was wrong. I was proven very wrong on that concept. I'm like, oh. So if I want this one on the back, I really don't have to. If I like the height of that, which I think I do, I'm only going to cut down the side. I am not going to. I'm going to keep the height. Now, before we get too far, and I'm getting all excited, let's make sure we're not overpowering any one thing too much, because we don't want to do that. Let's see. Girl, you knocked everything down, didn't you? Okay, let's see how we're doing here. No, I think that's awesome. And we'll decorate it, and I think we'll be perfect. Just sort of finishes off and brings all these pieces and whatnot together. And we're all good. So she's got the bookmark in there, and she's got journal cards and double cards and all that jazz. So, okay. Because yeah, I believe this one's been claimed already. I believe this one's already been accounted for. I am going to cut a little bit. Sorry. I feel like we're not straight, but I don't want to be, I don't quite want to put it in the cutter because I'm afraid, like, oh yeah, we're totally going to have issues if I do. I feel like cutting the hedge and just overdoing it all, right? My neighbors are sort of busy today. Okay, we're sort of mixing colors. We're having fun with it, doing all the good stuff. Okay, so now I wanted to overlap that a little bit. Now I have a couple different spots here I started folding, but I'm wondering if we go there, that is just too much. Do we want it to go here? And where's the green? Uh-oh. I keep catching things with my sleeve, and I am dropping all kinds of stuff to the floor. Careful there, girly. Shoot. Oh, there it is. I'm like, oh, everything's catching. I was doing that earlier today. Everything I was doing was catching. So I was thinking about putting this maybe more over this. So I don't know whether to, I wanted to blend some green in here, but maybe we'll do it this way. I'll do some sheer, we'll overlap it that way. Green are both going the same direction. That's okay. I'm thinking some orange up here. Maybe a little down here. We're just gonna sort of carefully see what this entails, right? Love doing this. We're gonna just cut out the edges so it's not so perfect. Even mesh and tulle, though, it's so woven that you don't have to. You can go that way. More that way, because I was thinking on this bottom corner is going to be this. So we're going to sort of cluster everything back down here. Potentially. I'm going to put a, there we go. And I'll leave that there. We can add, maybe to stretch that corner out a little bit, we could add a little bit with some leftover of our beige. The beige one or the white one? Oh, not the white one. Yeah, this one. We only use this one or two other places, so I don't know if it's just too heavy for our topper. Right, I guess I didn't want to go too, but to bounce off of it. I really love this other one. It's one of my favorites. This one is actually good. I think we're going to stick to that one. Just the length of the green, or the orange. I'm liking that. Okay, so let me guess my... Mine isn't it upside down. It's always right set up. I always forget that I'm doing a project or I'm getting started. I'm gonna need it. Now I'm sort of massaging it because I'm trying to get the air and the glue down. I don't like refilling my bottle every 5 seconds, but all right. I forget, and then, you know, yeah, believe me, it works beautifully when you have it full the first time. Oh, it's glorious, right? So these two are actually together. Do I have anything? I want to put a third layer. I want to put a third layer in there. Eek! Don't mind me. I want to do a little something else in between so that it doesn't feel so flat. I don't want it to be a single, even if we offset it. Oh, I love that. Okay. Taking my chances with this because it's really not always great. The glitter glue is not always perfect with fabrics, but since we got it between 2 papers, I might just be able to get away with it. At least get it started so I can cut and stuff. We are going to cut around it because I want it to stay sort of in that circular feel. And since we used this stuff on the insert into this journal, on that middle insert was, you know, we have all this beautiful stuff. Let's get a little bit of that out here, right? Making messes because that has to be glued down, and that has to be glued down, and that will be glued down, and this needs a little bit of ink. I just feel like I love the beige, but it's a little flat. And, you know, like any other paper, we just want a little more oomph. Probably be easier if I used the makeup brushes on these than this, but I hope I'm in camera this whole time. Yes, I am. Okay. Oh, always for the most part, right? All right, so we want that. We want this. Now what I can't decide is whether I'm going, let's go over. Okay, green down, this over. All right, now I can use this. Let's get this corner going. I think, ladies and gentlemen, I might actually get something done and not take too long. I know, everything's been an hour lately. I really do appreciate those of you who have been watching and get to the end, figure out what I'm up to, what I'm doing. Projects are just taking a little more time these days, and which is okay. You know, it means I'm hoping I'm getting farther along with things for you guys, and I'm making a bigger dent, and, you know, you're actually seeing not just a base, that maybe there's a little bit of finesse and finish going on here, which is always a nice thing, right? I should not be using that. I should be using use my proper finger thingy so I don't get sticky. Haha, don't get sticky. Yeah. You're not crafters if you're not making a mess. You're not getting sticky. You're not getting caught up in something. I just realized I gotta... Oh yeah, and I'm okay. Yeah, it's early day for me, technically, for my daughter, and so I'm trying to do all kinds of stuff, of course, on one of the earliest days we have, and then, you know, and then we have a very busy schedule even after school, so I'm multitasking to get things done ahead of time. All right, and then that sort of tie it all together. Eek, I'm loving it. I hope everybody's loving this. At least I'm trying. Some of this is actually finally coming together. Because I've been crafting all day, I think it's been a little bit better. It's hard when you start, you know, sort of cold turkey and, you know, sort of dry first thing in the morning. You're like, I haven't done anything yet. You just aren't getting that continuity that you're hoping for. And you know, the juices are not flowing yet. More times than not, I think a lot of us YouTubers, we start going on with something with you guys, and then we get off, and it's just like, now we're warmed up, and we're doing good, and boom, 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 we go, and we get all the beautiful stuff done, and we're like, why couldn't we done it on camera? Like, what happened there? And I put that way too far for something that, there we go. I'm like, I don't need that much space. I need some, but I don't need that much. Oh, come on. Maybe I'm having to put a little bit above because, you know, the way it's cut. You were being stubborn. Oh, so stubborn. I know there's a cut here, and I know it's a problem, but that's what glue's for. Let's work together here. I have a feeling this is not going to do what I needed to do. Nope, I am way over. Shoot, come on. I don't know why I got so zealous with that. Got so excited, got so far over, and I was like, no. And the hard part is, even with that, is sometimes because of the ink, of the prints, we have a hard time getting the glue off. And so you see all this glue. And no one really wants to see the glue, but if you can catch it just right, where it hasn't fully dried, but it's not super wet, you use our the residue erasers, and you can sort of clean that mess up before it gets to, see there it all is, it's got all balled up. And you can sort of finesse that out and not ruin the project. Here we go. Now I should be able to get the trim more in place and in a happier place. So it's like, well, I know I'm overlapping, but we're gonna go there because this one does like unravel if we're not careful. So we definitely want to get it in a spot where it's glued and happy. And I'm going to go about here. I'm going to get pretty tight to this, and hopefully then I can just glue down the rest. Oh, come on, give me. We have it's like the GIMP. It's like our gold and rose gold and golden cream GIMP, but it's a burlap version. Really, that's what it reminds me of, a burlap version of a GIMP trim. And you know, it unravels the moment you cut it. It comes apart, which is why we glue sections of the GIMP together. The little bits in the back when we cut it and send it to you. I make sure it's always glued, which takes a little extra time to cut orders on that end. But you know, hey, we'll make it do. I think that's really pretty. And fall, and I like this one because it is fall, but it's not in your face like pumpkin or it's just the colors and the leaves and the journal of it all. And I have pumpkin here or there, you know, like on the bookmarks, and I have one on one of the tags. There's a little duotone sepia pumpkin on it, you know, but it's light, it's airy, it's not, like I said, not in your face. This is mostly leaves and fall, not pumpkin fall. Summer into fall type deal, maybe. I don't know. I'm loving it though. I think we're done though, peeps. I think we're done. I think we get to glue. Oh my gosh, sorry. I'm trying to get these things off to the side so that I'm not making a complete utter mess. And I'm almost, I still have pieces, people. Oh my goodness. Almost be like, here, do you want some scraps to go with your journal? No, not that anybody ever wants scraps, right? But I mean, look, I have this still. I still have something. I can't get away from it. This is actually sticker, which I was going to use somewhere, but that just sort of laid itself out. If this was going to be a journal card, we'd be doing like a cute little header with this stuff left over on the back somewhere. Totally, right? I don't even know. Oh, maybe. I was trying to see if there was any way to cut this little flower out and glue her down. Let's cut her out and see if there's any place that just sort of pops in really nicely all by itself. Like, just, if there is, great. If not, it's not meant to be. It's not meant to be. It's not the end of the world. I will just throw away for once. Oh, no. Like, I mean, you can always reprint it, but no one wants to. No one wants to reprint more than necessary with ink and everything else. Okay, so if we inked it, is there a place to put it? Like, smoothly. No, because she is white, and I'd have to ink it, and I don't know. I like the balance of it. Nope, I don't want to mess with it. I'm like, no, I love the balance of it. I don't want to mess with it. Not really. Maybe I'll do something else with that. I have another thought and process for that. I have something I'll do with that. I have some scraps up there. I'm going to be a good girl. I'm throwing it away. It's just really, it's beigey background anyway. It's really light. I took everything I could out of it anyway. So, okay. That's a sticker. That's a totally different element. Don't even want to worry about. That I'll do for her thank you. So I got an idea for that. This is the last of the scraps. Who knows? Maybe I will put in her thank you. I don't know. Little scrappy pieces in case she finds a spot that she wants to add to that I just didn't think about, right? All right, where is the journal? Where's the journal? We're going to glue in its last piece, ladies and gentlemen. The last piece. A nice, thin, light topper. The only thing I would think about is, do I round the corners? But you know what? I don't think so because it's square on square. I don't always like doing anything any other way. We can do Let's do the glitter glue, the fabric tack, because it's a little thicker. I can get a little bit more out. Love glitter glue, but sometimes it's such a thin little, the ends of a glitter glue bottle are great on purpose. We want the delicate, we want the light, we want to catch in the tiny little crevices. But when you're doing something this size, last thing you want to do is deal with all of that tiny little dribble. And you just want to get done. You just want to be done. Be able to put it together, finish it up, and go, look, it's all good. And maybe even have 5 seconds to do one last flip through. I don't think there's much left to show you guys. I think we're all there. I think if there's any journal cards or anything left to show off, I'm going to leave it for the owner to find. Let's see. Now I can go straight or I can go... Nope, let's just go straight. Let's just go straight. Oh, let's go straight on. There we go. Press, press, press. Pretty little topper here. Finish it off on our bright orange thing that helps break up some of that orange. The cute part is you almost can't see it. This covers it. So when you open it, you're like, oh, there's a little bit more. A little old school. All right, so there we go. There's our journal. All right, a little cute little 32-page journal in here for just 1 month, whether it's October, whether it's, this would be beautiful even for Thanksgiving because it's not so heavy in pumpkins. I thought this would be a great November Thanksgiving thankful journal. It has her bookmark, right? We have this, the only couple of spots where it has pumpkins. Huge journal. So when you're actually writing in it, you have it closed. Like I said, you can see your bookmark right there. Okay. Otherwise, it's housed in her little pocket. Any other time, close it up. You can still see her. Our little owl is there to greet you. It has all these beautiful pieces. So we've got 2 large journal cards in here. Just like a note card. Our large collaged with backing to do. We've got cute little things in here. There's 3 tags that are decorated in here. 2 tags in a journal card that are decorated in that pocket. So they'll get to see that. There is another one here. There's a little fabric tab to pull it out. So you get to see that. That's a surprise. And then our front, we have our little, acrylic tag here. Little acrylic circle with on a pin inside the lace. It has a little bit of a, she's supposed to be. There it is. A little bit of a shaker cover there. You have your fabric quilted heart, which came actually from Woodland Inspired Celeste. She let me know. She's like, oh, I gave you one of those and one of your kits, one of your things you bought. And I'm like, oh, yes, okay. I was so stoked that she said something because I could not for the life of me remember where that came from. It does have a jewel on it. It can come off. So it's up to you whether you want to glue it down permanently or move it around to your liking. But that was the best place I could put it. And I didn't know. I couldn't figure out where else to put it. So you can decide if you want to glue it down and make it permanent there so it doesn't fall off, or you can pull it off and put it somewhere else if there's a better spot you'd rather have it. Right now, it doesn't quite get in the way of anything writing-wise. It seems to keep it nicely propped, so you're all good. But you have this beautiful thing that just keeps opening up, and you can keep pulling things out. More places, even a place to write in the front besides the journal cards that are in there. And when you open it, you have this lovely cover that, both wraps around your goodies and has sort of its own standalone feel. So it is all set and done, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for liking, loving, and commenting, following along with this project. Love the way it is. Nope, I'm not going to do the hinges. They're the wrong color. They're wrong. Nope, not going to worry about it. Nope, nope, nope. Oh my goodness. So thank you so much for joining me today and finishing this project with me as we are done. I'm so stoked. That way it's one less thing on my table. I can put this stuff away for just a few weeks before I have to pull the fall out again so I can do a new project with you guys. We can get on to something else in a different color scheme. Definitely, I think Tuesday we're going to do that envelope wallet pocket where we're going to put some journal cards in it. We're going to create a cute little holder for some small square journal cards and a way to do that with another set of envelopes, right? So I'm stoked. Found an envelope in my girls' stuff. It was just sort of folded a certain way, and I had the idea. So we will do a generic botanical collaged envelope wallet for small square journal cards. Great, cute little thing to either glue down or have as a standalone in a pocket. So there you go. Love you all very, very much. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll talk all real soon. Bye-bye.